Okay, so everything is out, and I got the 2 intake hoses. You got some trim for probably for the outside of this. Looks like some adapters. I'm not exactly sure where this is gonna go, but we'll find out shortly. And this is the housing. So let me look at some pictures and see if I can figure out how this actually all goes together. I've been looking at these pictures, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put these together. So you need like an Allen wrench for the hardware that's provided. They're so tiny. This is really hard. It's annoying. I wouldn't say it's hard, it's annoying. So, my suggestion, pre-screw all of these if you can, because it doesn't look like they're drilled perfectly. So, not a single one of these holes is threaded properly, and they give you these tiny little Allen wrench screws to use, and they're stripping, they're not working. Okay, so I gave up on the hardware that came with the CTS, and I went to the hardware store real quick, spent $4, picked up these M3 screws, M3 washers, and M3 nuts, and it went in super fast. The only thing is, I think I bought half an inch. I should have bought a 1/4 inch or maybe shorter. They're sticking out a little, and as of right now, I don't know if that's going to impact the install, but we'll find out shortly. So save yourself a headache and just get the M3s and get nuts. So much easier. All right, so note to self, if you're gonna buy these, buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so buy 12 total. I bought 8 by accident. So I've got 1 empty hole on this one, which I don't think will matter too much. But if you're wondering how these go together, there's the piece that goes like this. This one's noticeable because it has a little tab, so that's on the right side. This one's got this on the left side. And then attached to that is this L bracket looking thing and this. So just keep an eye on that little circle. I think that's where the sensor goes. So there's 3 different sizes of trim. There's this thin trim that's longer, there's a thin trim that's shorter, and then there's this big fat rubber trim. The long thin one goes where the hole is, the circle, half circle. And then the small trim, which is in my hand, goes on. And then the big trim, the big rubber one, goes right on the back. So this is what your finished product should look like. And now let's figure out how these go. And do the same thing with the other side. This guy right here is it's an 8. I'm using an 8 wrench. I just happen to have an 8 wrench. It looks like it's a Torx screw. Okay. And I need to undo. So this doesn't come out, so you don't have to worry about losing it. I need to take off. So to get these clips off, when it's on, you actually just stick your nail under there, push it up, and then it'll slide right off. Such a weird design. One thing I don't want to do is break any sensors. Okay, so I took the top cover off, and when you're in here you can see where it lines up, and you literally just pull it out. Show you how to do the other one. Literally just, I don't know what this is. This is T25 on the air filter. So let's see. Oh, that's already lined up, so I'm just gonna, there you go. That's it. Okay. And then on each side, you take this little round grommet thing and you put it in to this. Push it through with your finger. There you go. There you go. And I believe that's where the sensors will fit. Okay, so here's the little screw that comes with the kit. So I think this is a size 10. So without dropping it, I feel like this is where it goes. And it does. I'm going to tighten it. This part just seems really weird to me. So hopefully you can see. This is the piece I believe you mount this piece first. And this is what it clamps onto. So some pressure on there because there is a ring, like an O-ring or something right there. This is a 5mm Allen wrench screw that I'm going to hand start because I really don't want anything falling in there. So that bracket is in the way of the filter now. There's no way this filter is going to fit in here with this housing. I don't know. I don't know what to do here. You could take the housing off. Okay, so after a lot of looking at why it's not fitting, it's because a lot of the older models didn't have this. This is a boatload of extra padding, which I'm a little nervous about taking off because it's a lot. But now everything lines up, so it looks like this will actually go. Can't really see it. There's a hole right there. That'll go in there. That'll line up right there. And that actually goes into so I had to bend these brackets a little bit so you can see I had to kind of bend it out of the way, and that one is kind of just sitting. Okay, that's it. Let's get the other side done. It looks like I may have to take some of this off. Here we go. Figured it out. These are matching up, so this is the bracket. It's matching up to the injector screws. So technically, these should be mounted to the injectors screws. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I found my 1/4 inch. So let's get that one off and that one off, and then I think the tray will sit right on it. Okay, look how good this one fits. Everything just sits well. I'm gonna tuck that in there, and everything just lines up. Plug these guys back in. There's a oh shoot, the sensor. Don't forget about these things. Snap right in. All right, moment of truth. No check engine light so far. Okay, so this has to be the quietest intake I've ever heard. And it's not the intakes themselves, it's just, I guess, how much sound deadening is in this car. And I don't have active exhaust or anything like that, so I'm just gonna drive around for a sec so you guys can kind of hear how little you hear the intakes in this car compared to what in my S4 when I drove next to like a fence or something. It was just audible. On my Golf R it was super loud. It sounded really cool. So here, I'm gonna accelerate real quick. That way you guys get an idea. Turn the climate control off. No spooling sound. Even with the windows down, it barely makes any noise. You can hear a little bit of blow off sound, but not much. So, would I recommend this? I think if you do like some additional modifications, it's probably worth it. Performance-wise, normally I don't ever really feel anything from intakes, and mostly I bought it for sound, and it doesn't really fully accomplish that either. So, and it's not CTS's fault. I think it's just the amount of dampening and sound deadening that's in this car. So just be aware. It makes a little bit nicer noise, but I would say maybe like 20% louder than stock, if even that. You hear the turbos a little bit more. And if that's something you're looking for, then you're probably gonna have to do a few other things. So next on my list is maybe to do a res delete or a muffler delete. But I might do valves, which I had valves installed on my Stinger, and it was cool because then I could bypass the mufflers if I wanted, and then they would close up and I could go through the mufflers. And it was just a really nice kind of alternative between having it somewhat rumbly all the time or not having it rumble at all. So I'm going through that right now. I don't know what I'm going to do just yet. That's kind of my review. I would say on the CTS intakes, install is fairly easy once you figure out you need to take the rubber parts out And if you don't want to do that, then don't do this install. Get a different set. If you're coming from a car that has a very audible kind of turbo sound, you're not going to get that with just the intakes on here. You're going to get a little bit of it, but it's way less than any other car that I've ever experienced it with. So a little bummed out, but I know that a couple more things will make it sound a little bit louder. And also, I get it. This is the demographic of this car. They want something quiet, luxurious, and everything like that. I, on the other hand, I don't want it super loud, but I also I love turbo sounds. I want to hear those. So that's my quest. So thanks for watching. And yeah, more coming on this car soon. So stay tuned. Bye.